Oh, I was thinking this morning as I was driving in. I don't have this in my notes, so we'll see how this goes. But I'm driving into church, and like for the first time in a week, you can see Pikes Peak and the snow on the top. It's just beautiful. It's like what Colorado summer should look like, because we almost had a taste of it, and then it was like, we're going to rain for a week, and it's going to be 30 degrees, and no one can go have any fun. And then the clouds broke again, and it was beautiful and sunny, and I'm so excited for this weekend, but I'm driving in, and I'm seeing these hot air balloons flying up in the air. And every time I see that, I can't think of a more wild way to try to create transportation. Like, I don't understand it. If there's an air balloon enthusiast in the group, let's talk after church, because I have so many questions. But my understanding is basically you get in this balloon and you fill it with hot air and it rises up and then it just goes. And there's no like rudders or engines or propellers or like, and for the life of me, I mean, you're just up in the current, and I guess they know enough about it to like get up there. But my perception is you just go up and you wait for something flat enough to let the air back out and then land. And it seems so like, who had that idea to go, this is a great idea. I'm going to get from A and I want to go to B, but the chances are I'll be at Q because that's the way the wind blew while I was up there. And what it made me think of as I'm driving in is how we can feel like that's how our Christian walk has been. Like God started this thing in us and we were so excited to start this walk with him, and the air balloon filled up and we raised up into the air, and then we're like, now what do we do? But here's what I know to be true. People do that and survive it because there's a way to do it. And they understand the wind patterns and the weight of this and the signs of this, and are looking for storms, and they know how to operate this thing that they're in as safely as possible. And they learn to rely on the unknown. And I think that's kind of an important message for us, that we can get discouraged as we start our walk of like, God, I don't know what to do anymore. Like I'm up here and the balloon is up and I'm just seeing all the cool things, but I have no idea what to do next. And God's inviting us to say, listen, it's not all this random happenstance that's going to happen in your life. I have a plan and I am in control. And if you will lean in and participate with me in the things that I am teaching and the things that I know to be true, I'm going to show you how to create pattern and purpose in what seems like chaos. And that's continually what he's inviting us into, is he's saying, listen, I know that you feel like you're out of control. And usually when we feel that way, it's because you're relying on your own control. And God says, even in the unknown and the uncertain, I am always in control. So lean on me and trust that I'm going to get you where you need to go. We pick back up in Ephesians. We're in chapter 4, and we're starting in verse 17. It says, therefore, I say this and testify in the Lord, you should no longer walk as the Gentiles do, in the futility of their thoughts. Really unique statement to start off with, because he's talking to Gentiles. Gentiles basically is anybody that's not Israel. So you have the Israelites, the Jewish people, and then you have everyone else, and those are the Gentiles. And so he's essentially looking at this whole people group that are coming to know Jesus and are like would identify in that culture as a Gentile, saying, stop being you. I know you are this thing, don't be that thing. And you can imagine that's a really confusing way to start, because eventually they're immediately like, what do you mean don't be a Gentile? Like, I am a Gentile. How do I not be the thing that I know that I already am? That even your people, God, would look at me and say, that Gentile. How do I stop being that? And it already begins this really interesting, nuanced conversation that we've been having for the last few weeks as well about being a new creation. That when you come into Christ and he rescues you and forgives your sin and redeems you and makes you new, he has made this new creation inside of you. And it's really hard for us to wrap our head around, because you're like, I'm the same person. I'm the same person that I was when I made this decision and prayed for him to rescue my life and redeem me. And like, I have the same story and the same parents and the same background and the same job. And God goes, I know, but you're also not the same. And we're going to spend this life together figuring out and me revealing to you and showing you how you're not the same. But first, for us, it has to start with the understanding and the realization that even though I am still the same person, I'm no longer the same person. And we're going to wrestle with that tension. And that's what he's bringing up in the very beginning of this. He's saying, you no longer are Gentiles first. You are in Christ first. And that is your new identity, and that is your new purpose, and that is your new creation. And so you need to stop living like the old creation and start working on this new creation. And then he lines out this thing of like, what does it look like to walk as a Gentile? And he says it's in the futility, the purposelessness of their thoughts. And so saying the best things that you used to think would be beneficial and the things that you used to think would be helpful and that would bring you peace or joy or hope or all that, the things that you used to spend your time and your thoughts on are no longer the things that you're supposed to spend your time and your thoughts on. Because your old thoughts bring about futility. It's futile. It's pointless. It's helpless. But I have things for you that